See, breakfast is now time for us to find out everything that is happening from all around the world on social media. And you know the girl that can give us that information. She's standing by for that. Good morning once again, beautiful. How are you?
Good morning, team. How are we doing?
Not bad.
You know, after that interview with the public relations experts, I have to make sure right now that I don't have any fake news. But
you never have fake news.
Luckily,
actually.
TVC has a finger on the pulse and our eyes on the street. Let's see what everyone's talking about.
Take it away.
Good morning, Nigeria. Like I always say, TVC has a finger on the pulse and our eyes on the streets. One of these days, I'm going to make that into a t-shirt so you guys know I'm being serious. But here on the Trending Now segment, my team and I, we do our best on a daily basis to bring you all the trending stories that are shaping the world that you and I live in. We begin today with some politics where tensions fled in the Nigerian Senate yesterday as Senator Adams Oshiomhole of Edo North and Ali Ndume of Borno South engaged in a heated clash over the ambassadorial nomination of former presidential aide Reno Omokri. Now, this disagreement reportedly arose during debate on the confirmation of Mr. Omokri's nomination, with both senators exchanging sharp words over procedural concerns and differing views on the nomination. Have a look at this short exchange.
You are called. You cannot shut me down.
No, he's not talking to you. He wasn't talking to you. He wasn't talking to you. 1 minute.
These are people.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. All right. So how come you have other people are speaking?
Senator Adams, he wasn't. Go ahead.
I have the authority of the chairman.
Please go ahead.
Chairman.
Essentially, what happened in that video that did not play was that Senator Adams Oshiomhole said, when me, a former governor, is talking, nobody else should talk, and Ali Ndume was not having it. Well, order was eventually restored as other senators intervened and proceedings continued. This clash was trending on social media because do you know who I am? Let's have a look at social media. Reno Omokri smack in the middle of this whole debacle, just waiting for his screening to be over to take home the ambassadorial pen. Benjamin Eze says, let us even agree without conceding that Reno has seen the light and turned a new leaf. Does that mean everything he said in the past about the current president is now null and void? A question while asking Benjamin. OP Jiri says, Omokri is a polarizing figure, brilliant communicator, fiercely partisan, and with a long history of political commentary that's made him allies and enemies in equal measure. His nomination was always going to be contentious. And Emeka says, Senator Oshiomhole said Reno has demonstrated the exemplary attitude of a person who can be remorseful after doing wrong, and that's the quality of a good statesman. So the president found him worthy of a nomination. Reno is an example of a man of integrity by that act. We discussed this briefly on the newspaper review, but over there we keep it prim and proper. Over here, this is not trending now tough, and you can really speak your mind. It's a double-edged sword. On one hand, you know, Reno Omokri has made some very strong statements about the current administration. On the other hand, I strongly believe in the fact that when presented with new information and new data, you're allowed to change your mind. And so you have two political figures here clashing over this one man who is this polarizing figure, not just for them, but for all of us.
For me, the story here is the fact that Adams Oshiomhole and Ali Ndume exchanged words. When you listen to what Adams Oshiomhole had to say at the end of the day and what Ali Ndume had to say at the end of the day, both of them were saying the same thing. So it was just a clash of ego, you know, and those of us that have served as governor, you know, that statement came up and Ndume didn't like it. So for me, the main issue wasn't Reno Omokri's character or his person. It was just ego of the two gladiators involved.
And then for me, also looking at it, I know that Ndume was saying that he should take a bow and go. And then the other senator, Oshiomhole, was saying that he cannot take a bow and go. He needs to speak. And I think, yes, he couldn't have taken a bow to go, considering all the things that he had said about the APC. If you've now been given the opportunity to now represent that party that you said a lot of atrocities against, then you cannot just take a bow and leave. You need to explain to us why you changed your mind. So in that aspect, I did not agree with what Ndume was saying, that he should just take take the bow and go. But now let me go back to Reno Omokri. You know, this is a person that has said a lot. And I'm not surprised why, you know, a lot of people are speaking about it as why he was given the opportunity to represent Nigeria and, you know, talking about all the things that he has said about the APC. But you said something, Olamide, that, you know, when new information is given to you, you can change your mind. But I hope this is a lesson to Reno that you need to be careful, because the way he makes some really bold statements, like when I saw it, I was just remembering the video. I can watch that video over and over again. That statement was so bold. So I hope this is a lesson to him that, you know, he should be careful the way he uses his words. You're
telling the politician whether it is a lesson to learn. Politicians don't learn lessons. They only learn a lesson about what is in it for me, you know, next time. And I do not see whether Oshiomhole or Ndume, maybe they were fighting or anything. I felt they were just acting. They knew what they were going to do, because at the end of the day, I was like, why were you guys even arguing over what? Because you both agreed that, okay, Reno is, you know, what's his salt? He definitely will, you know, take a bow at the end of the day. So why are you, you know, arguing over that? Even though the chairman said that taking a bow at that time doesn't mean that, you know, they've sailed through, because they're still waiting for more petitions and all of that. So what they've done is just 50% of that part. But the only person I can greet or I can say kudos to is the president, Mr. President himself. This is someone who had been fiercely, badly criticized by Reno Omokri, even this presidential spokesperson, you know, mentioned them, by Daniel Bwala. They've called him all sorts of names. Even the Minister of Communication, Bosun, Minister of Communication and Innovative Economy or something like that, Innovation Economy, Bosun Tijani, he had also criticized President Tinubu, and these are the people you will find in his cabinet. And people within the APC are saying, wait, it's like it is someone that is criticizing this man that they are getting the appointment. So the ability to forgive.
Although Reno Omokri was the most contentious figure, you know, in the ambassadorial screening,
I don't think
we have to
so.
remember that several other ambassadors were also screened yesterday. I want us to focus
on that. But some of them were also asked to take a bow and go.
We have Femi Fani-Kayode. We have a lot of controversial figures, and I worry in Nigeria, Toma, that we do have this sort of take a bow and go culture. Nigeria in the moment finds herself at a very critical point on the global stage. More than ever, we need ambassadors that understand the kind of representation that Nigeria needs, and yet our favorite phrase, you know, when the Senate sits down is take a bow.
For me, it's credit to Mr. President that he looks beyond all the noise and sees the person. You know, Reno might have made bold statements against him and all that, but you see, Reno has a skill, and that is what Mr. President is trying to exploit.
He's all about the skills.
Every other person that, I mean, the guy talks, the guy is very diplomatic, you know, and I think he will do well without the controversy.
But just to quickly touch on the take a bow and go, I feel like, you know, we should not also make that a habit. People need to say, you know, the things they will do. They need to explain to us. It's not just about, oh, you are perfect for it, you can go. What are you going to do? What are your ideologies? So I think that we should not just also encourage that take a bow and go. Explain yourself. Let's see, you know, what are some of the things that you'll be doing.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, right now I have to take a bow and go, team. Moving on, the Lagos State Police Command has dismissed the viral social media claim that a police inspector that was beaten by a mob was caught stealing. According to the command side of the story, the officer is attached to the Lagos State Task Force and was enforcing the ban on wrong parking in Oshodi when a motorist became violent, and in the confrontation, the inspector accidentally fired shots onto the ground, and the breeze then hit some passers-by. This then led to a mob attack, with residents accusing him of stealing and beating him severely. As you're seeing there, it was clear mob justice. The police now say that the theft claim is false, and the inspector has been disciplined for his unprofessional conduct, while 13 suspects seen assaulting him in the video are now in custody and will be prosecuted. The Commissioner of Police warns residents against jungle justice and the spread of false information. Let's take a look at social media. Yaya Abba says, this is totally inappropriate. He should be accorded respect for wearing the police uniform regardless of the situation. Such conduct is entirely condemnable. And Better Country says, when will Nigeria be lucky to have an IG of police that will sanitize the Nigerian police force and rid the force of criminal elements? Will Nigerians ever be assured of their security by the Nigeria police force? And when will citizens say with their full chest that the MPF is corrupt-free? Finally, Mr. Prolific says, this is really sad. See the impact of a bad society? How corruption and hunger has eaten deep into the system. This is a man with family with financial problems. None of the people are properly paid or catered for. No government support for their kids. Most even die on duty, and government don't ever take care of their families. That's why they always transfer their aggression to civilians. It's painful watching this man being humiliated while wearing the force uniform. Imagine a foreigner watching this video. Now, to me, it was very, very sad scenes, because essentially this policeman begged for his life, you know, and people were saying that he was caught stealing. People were shouting "Ole," and they made him bleed, essentially. It was very tough watching that. On the other hand, I don't think this was an isolated incident. I think that there's a lot of aggravation towards the Nigerian police force for a lot of the ideologies that they hold and how they often treat the populace. I don't think it was about this man. I think it was about our general belief and feelings towards the Nigerian police force, Etoma.
Yes, it is. How many times will I say this? We need to train and retrain our police officers. If you try to do your job and the person you are talking to becomes violent, there's a protocol. You know, you don't have to get violent too. Number two, you are holding a gun with life ammunitions. All right? So one maybe accidentally or otherwise was expended and debris hit. Oh boy. It's a dirty situation, and it is most painful that the man is in full uniform and is being treated like an armed robber or a thug.
For me, it hurts me to see that, you know, when we see this uniform, we should respect the uniform. So to see that he's wearing the uniform and is being treated like that. But Olamide, I'll say something, you know, and this will link to the interview that we had. I think that with the Nigerian police, we've given them a lot of bad PR, and that's why right now everybody has a perception about them. And even though there are times that we see good police that are doing great jobs, you know, we do not get to give them all that accolade because of the PR that everybody has said, oh, Nigerian police, they are this, they are that. But at the end of the day, I do not subscribe to mob justice. I do not think it's the right thing to do. Let people be taken to the right authorities and let the authorities deal with them.
Well, the Police Service Commission has a whole lot to do. The police itself, as a force, also needs to do a whole lot in changing the attitude, the character of the Nigerian police or the personnel. Because, you know, you said Nigerians give them bad PR. Actually, they gave themselves this bad PR. Because one thing is, okay, yesterday, for instance, I was going up with someone, and then the police person, the police officer stopped the vehicle, and then I was like, okay, hello, sir, hi. And then the person moved. When the person was about to, you know, drive off, the next thing was, anything for your boys. I got so angry, like, how would you be asking for this? Those people, by the time you start begging and they start giving you, they start seeing you as, oh, so you're not even, this is what you're worth. You know, they give you 5 naira, or this is what you're worth. So we should learn to be content with whatever it is that we have. If you feel that whatever you're getting from that, you know, profession, that national duty that you're doing, just go out of it. Look for something else. You do not do it because of money. You do it because of the love for your country. And the people who are supposed to do the right thing, who are the leaders, the authority, they should also try to do the best for them so that they have what is sufficient, because Ibrahim, they have families at the end of the day.
Just to butt into what you're saying, to put it in context, and this is not me speaking for police officers. Ibrahim, I put it to you that not all police officers collect money.
Of course.
So when we speak, let us also speak about the good police officers. And that is the angle, a minute please, and that's the angle I'm coming from, that let's not always just put all of them inside one basket. I've seen police officers that are upright. I've seen police officers that they will even look at you and be like, why are you trying to give me money? So let's also put that there.
Absolutely. And Nuria, here on Trending Now, I've taken several stories about the police officer awards, people being knighted and honored for their exemplary behavior within the police force. But unfortunately, for every good PR story we take on the news or any other platform, there's a police officer at a checkpoint taking advantage of the situation. There's a police officer that is taking advantage of the badge, and so that is what we have put into context. But a few bad apples spoil the whole bunch. Thank you so much for your input. Moving on into international news, a 54-year-old grandmother in Limpopo, South Africa, has been arrested for operating a private prison in Koakoa. Reports say that the woman ran a bar, and when patrons became a bit violent or intoxicated, she allegedly locked them up until they sobered or paid bail. Allegedly, women abusers and debtors were also detained in her personal prison until they showed remorse or settled their debts. The private facility reportedly opened on the 2nd of December, and authorities say 36 people were jailed without formal trial before the grandmother's arrest. She claimed that her actions helped restore order in the town, with some locals even jokingly suggesting that she opened a private magistrate court because she was doing the job so well. Well, South African police are now investigating the matter, and the grandmother could face charges related to unlawful detention and running an unauthorized detention facility. I'll take 2 quick tweets very quickly on this. This woman is doing the Lord's work, I tell ya. Chill says they're only jealous that she's doing a better job than they are, and they're worried about the cool drink money that they lost. And John Graciosan says, we're still reeling from the revelations that we have a deeply compromised police force, and you want to arrest this decisive woman for doing what the people we pay have failed to do. Hands off Gogo. Gogo is grandmother in South African colloquial language. Team, very quickly because we're running out of time. Yeah. This is a very funny story. On the other hand, it does take into the fact that when policing forces fail, you know, we're just discussing policing, civilian people take it upon themselves to be the police. I think this is a failure in South African policing system, that this woman was failed by them, and she possibly need to take laws into her own hands. But I have to ask, what kind of man will be jailed by a woman who is not a police officer? You allowed her to detain you without bail or trial.
Look at the kind of men that she arrests, the ones that are so drunk that they don't know where they are, and the ones that are owing money. So in both cases, it will be easy for her to employ 1 or 2 young men to help change their address to...
very quickly, Tim, we're running out of time.
Yeah. But you know, for me, I don't think I find this story funny. Maybe because of the Africanness in me, I find it very spiritual. Why would you lock people, you know, and without, you don't have the authority to lock people. I don't find it funny, and I think that they should look into our mental health as well.
I think, as Olamide has put it, is a failure of a policing system in South Africa.
But you can't take power into your hands.
Yeah, that is the first. That is not the only thing. There is also another group who are always arresting, you know, foreigners, especially Africans, Nigerians among them. They will call them, you know, one name and ask them to go back to their country. That's xenophobia, which still exists in South Africa, despite just trying to heal from apartheid. But all the same, I think the authority needs to do the right thing. Get this woman arrested herself, because she has infringed on fundamental rights of these people.
Whole new level here. Thank you so much for your input, team. Here on the TVC Breakfast Show, we truly believe that time is of the essence, the past, the present, and the future. This segment is called Notable Timelines.